and pay your dues, buy a t-shirt, and pay your dues, or we'll take your t-shirt. What else? Questions? Yeah.
I'm wondering, I don't know how much into politics is going to go, but I was just wondering your thoughts on Rick Perry's turning down of the employment stimulus or unemployment stimulus.
Well, it was a big part of that. A big part of that. The cost. I mean, he was asking about the decision. Actually, the legislature made the decision because the legislature had to pass the law. The legislature didn't pass the law. So there was no bill for the governor to veto. So the legislature did not present the governor with the bill to make that decision. The governor was not in favor of it. And let me tell you the logic on that. I'll tell you the pros and the cons. The current administration, the current Congress, is more labor-driven than what the Bush administration and the Republican Congress would be. Understandably, some of the areas that the Obama administration and the current Congress would lean toward would be more in favor of the labor side, and the labor side has always pushed for an expanded eligibility for unemployment insurance. And so there's several things to do it. And so as an incentive for states to pass laws to open up that, there was a one-time bonus, if you will. And for Texas, the one-time bonus, if they did all of these things, would be $555 million, which even in Texas is a lot of money. $555 million. My job was to provide the legislature with all the information they need to make their decision. Those for it and those against it. And $555 million is a lot of money. But the extended eligibility would have cost about, now in retrospect, because we had more unemployment than we thought we were having, would have cost, I'm just off the top of my head guessing, about $125 million a year. So that money would have, we would have had to raise taxes to the degree of about $125 million a year to cover this expanded population. And they said, no, but you could, and if you took the money, you couldn't put a provision. This was the big deal that the governor had the problem with. That you could change the law and get the money, but you couldn't put, and when the money runs out, our law is repealed. They wouldn't allow that. So the governor's position was, first of all, it's our money they were giving it to us. I went back, remember, I go back to when employers pay taxes, they pay a percentage of the first $9,000 of everyone's wages that work for them. So that's usually in the first quarter, all the money goes up. And for every dollar that Texas sends up to DC, we get 31.5 cents back. And they keep the rest in a trust fund and distribute that out to other states. And there are some states that get 60, 70, and 80 cents. Alaska gets $2.50, but they don't get much, so it's really not. So the more, and it's based on this convoluted formula that basically the more efficient you are, the less money you get. So